Hi everyone, welcome and thank you for being here. Here is my week in parenting. In this series, I look at my parenting from a personal development perspective. The aspects of personal development that we cover are sexual, financial, emotional, physical, mental, social, and spiritual. This week, Marjorie removed her upper two front teeth, and she was happy about it because she had cavities. And we say she's in her ugly teeth era, the era where there are some teeth coming out, others are trying to grow back, and when they speak, their tongue come before the words. And we are happy about it. It's growth, it is development, and we are happy to be witnessing it. Another thing that happened was I eliminated breakfast because there has always been a rush and there's a struggle in the morning for them to have their breakfast. There's a conflict between the rush to prepare and leave the house to go and catch the bus in time and sitting down to have breakfast. So I have always just been following them with their breakfast. Have something before you leave. Take this before you leave. So I got tired and decided to let the breakfast be. Because they also don't take milk and sugar. So it's easier for them not to take anything in the morning. Because even when they take the breakfast, they just take the item that is used for breakfast other than the drink. And now when they go to school, I just give them warm lemon water, or I add baobab powder to the warm water. And this has really helped us. We are not in a rush in the morning. There's no tension in the morning for people to finish, eat and do what and then leave. No, there's no tension. Our mornings are now, can I say, relaxed, because we are not fighting to eat or not to eat, because they're defending themselves against me and my food, and I'm also insisting that they take the food. So it has made our life easier, and has also made us go to church earlier than usual, because now, since there's no breakfast being taken, we prepare and leave. And also this got me thinking, because we wake up and give our children either tea or a carbohydrate that they've used to take the tea, or even cereal or juice or fruit. And I realized that we wake up to lower their immunity. The first thing we do in the morning is lower their immunity, because we are giving them sugar, either directly or indirectly, whether it is honey or sukari nguru or sugar. The body does not know the difference. It's all sugar. And I'm happy this happened, because I had wanted to introduce them to fasting, but I didn't know how. And so this one has come by default, and I'm glad it happened. If they have their dinner at 7, when they have their next meal the next day at 10, that is 15 hours. If they have their dinner at 8, and they have their next meal the next day at 10, that is 14 hours, which is good enough, because I want to teach them to make better choices for their health. We are struggling with our health in our 30s and 40s. Can you imagine how hard it is going to be for our children in their 20s and even in their 30s? The rate of diabetes type 1 is high amongst children. Type 1 is amongst children. And we really need to look at how we feed them, what we feed them, when we feed them these things. When you decide to make a healthy choice for yourself, most often you leave your family behind. It's a personal choice. For the adult that you live with, it is their personal choice. They can make their choice. But for the children, if it is good for you, it is good for them. Please don't leave them behind. Find ways of teaching them gradually so that by the time they leave their house, what I'm trying to do is that by the time they leave my house, they can make informed health decisions for themselves. Another thing that I introduced was on vegetables. Usually we try and take our vegetables with every meal. But what happens is that they have their meal and then have the vegetables last, especially if they are raw or steamed. If they are cooked vegetables like the kienyeji ones, they take them with their meal. So I switched things up and told them that now you have to take your vegetables first, then your meal. And it can be raw vegetables. You don't need to mix a lot of things because children also don't like their food mixed up too much. I do 2 or 3 vegetables, and sometimes I just give them carrots. Somebody takes a carrot and we are done with the vegetable part. Or sometimes an avocado or tomatoes or cucumber. And also sometimes we steam them. So it's either raw or steamed, a single one or mixed up. And some of them are struggling, especially when it comes to the raw ones. But it helps because I'm trying to groom them for life. I'm trying to groom them to make their decisions out of my house because I will not be there every day to tell them, take your vegetables. And it's easier when I start early. I don't want to go with them to a restaurant and have to remind them that remember to start with your vegetables. I want them to be in a position where they can decide for themselves, even when I am not there with them. And say, I know I should start with my vegetables. And this is why I should start with my vegetables. And in breaking their fast, I tell them not to break their fast with sugar. It is a learning process. Sometimes they follow, sometimes they don't. That is why they are learning, so that they make mistakes and perfect the art. Yeah, that is the changes I instituted. And sometimes I make these changes when their dad is not around. Because when he's around, girls and their dads, they'll go and complain to him and tell him, Daddy, your wife is trying to kill us. Your wife is persecuting us. This is not fair. And then he'll tell me, postpone it for a week or 2. And sometimes after I have postponed, it never gets to happen. So it's easier for me to institute these changes sometimes when he is not around. And this time he was also not around when I did this one for fasting. And it is seamless They wake up, prepare, and leave, and we do not have a rush. There is no chaos. The chaos are reduced. And even for my house girl, it is easy in the morning because they prepare themselves. She wakes up and does her job, not following them to take breakfast, putting the tea on the table. She's also doing other house chores. So it has been good for everyone. Another thing on physical that I check is how often they move their bowels. There was a day Mallory came to me and told me that she was constipated. Then I asked her how often she goes for number 2. And then she tells me after 2 days or after a day. And I told her, you should be moving your bowels every single day, at least once. And so I started checking. I asked them, did you do number 2 today? Because when somebody is not doing number 2, they're not eliminating. Where is that food going to? Where is that waste going to? The food is getting absorbed, but where is that waste going to? It is getting reabsorbed into their bodies, and it is going to make them sick. So with the vegetables and a bit of fasting, they are now able to eliminate. Yeah. There are days she tells me she has done number 2 twice, which makes me happy. They are making progress. The younger ones had no problem. Marlene has no problem feeding, so she can do her number 2 twice or thrice in a day. It is the older ones that I ask every single day, have you done number 2? Number 1 they can do. Have you done number 2? With that, I am assured that what they are eating, the waste is getting out. It could be weird, but they are also, the body is working as it should. It doesn't mean that they don't take junk. They love sweets. They have a sweet tooth like me, but the roughage has to be put in somewhere there. It doesn't mean that when they go out, they only take vegetables, and they're children. They're human beings. The junk tastes good. But what I'm trying to do this year is to help them make better health decisions for themselves. I institute the change and try and help them make better decisions so that when they leave my house, they take care of themselves without needing to feel like they are left out, without needing to feel like they are suffering, because they shall have done the suffering in my house. Thank you for being here. See you in the next one.